Hi, my name is KarenVilorio, and my topic of discussion is the economic value of hosting the Olympic Games. Modern Olympic Games are the leading international sporting event featuring summer and winter sports competitions in which thousands of athletes across the planet participate in a variety of competitions. The Olympic Games are considered to be the world's foremost sports competition with more than 200 nations participating. The host city for Olympic Games is usually chosen 7 to 8 years ahead of their celebration. The International Olympic Committee is responsible for choosing the host city for each Games. First, each country's National Olympic Committee must choose a city from among all the cities that want to host the Games in that country. For the 2024 Olympic Games, 6 cities in the U.S. are looking to host the Games. These cities are Washington, D.C., Boston, Los Angeles, Dallas, San Diego, and Philadelphia. Economists are usually skeptical about hosting a big event such as the Olympic Games. This is because there has never been a straight line or positive line between hosting the Games and economic growth in a country. This is because Olympics have a high cost, which is often not compensated by the revenue during and after the Olympic Games. In this chart, we can see how every single Olympic Games between 1960 and 2012 experienced cost overruns. Underestimated Olympic costs has almost become an Olympic sport in itself. For example, the 2012 Olympic Games cost 3 times the amount estimated. Venues must be built, the infrastructure must be improved, and housing must be provided to thousands of athletes and delegates from around the world. For example, Brazil is spending billions to modernize infrastructure, build stadiums, increase commerce, and promote tourism. Most of the money will come out of Brazilian taxpayers. The only Olympic city in recent times that has really kept costs low was Los Angeles in 1984, and that was a special case. That year, it was the only city actually bidding for the Olympics. Everyone else had been scared off by Montreal's Olympic fiasco in 1976, which left citizens with a $1.5 billion debt that took decades to pay. Economists have come up with some key points to explain why nations want to host the Olympic Games. First, hosting the Olympic Games has shown that people in that country are happier. Second, hosting the Olympics could raise national consciousness because it reveals the power of a nation. It is a source of pride. Third, holding the Olympic Games would gain a well reputation and raise international renown up. The well-national reputation of celebrated cities such as Paris, Moscow, London, Beijing, and Moscow could be attributed to the fact that they have hosted the Olympic Games before. Fourth, the Olympic Games are a source of tourism leading to the event, during the event, and after the event. The Olympics are also a job creation, although most are temporary construction jobs prior to the event. During the London Olympics, 100,000 jobs were created. Another key point is that the Olympics give a city an excuse to operate vital non-sports infrastructures such as airports and hotels. The only downside to this is that many of these infrastructure are not needed in the long run. Last, in addition to a considerable sum of direct revenue such as sales of TV rights, tickets, business sponsors, and so on, it will mostly boost economic performance by a large increasing amount of consumption, private and government investment, and employment as well. These direct and indirect revenues of holding the Olympic Games are often referred to as the Olympic economy. The major beneficiaries from direct revenues are the International Olympic Committee and the Olympic Committee of the host country. On the contrary, indirect revenue is the impact on industry and economy caused by holding the Olympic Games. Some of these benefits are usually overestimated. One of the reasons is called the substitution effect. The mega event expected to draw a large crowd ends up driving others away who would have come to the city in the absence of the event. So the question here is it worth hosting the Olympic Games? It depends on who you ask. Let's take Brazil as an example. International sporting events can be seen as a coming out party for countries who want to show off their new status as economic giants. Brazil certainly belongs to the club. Its rapid growth in past decades has made the country the world's sixth largest economy, although growth slowed down in 2011. As I mentioned before, most of the money to rebuild stadiums and improve infrastructure is coming from Brazilian taxpayers. For a country that is hosting 2 mega events in a 2-year period, this represents an approximate cost of $33 billion for both events. According to a survey done by the University of Sao Paulo and a study by Ernst & Young, Brazil will earn a total of more than $120 million in gross economic impact from hosting the 2 events. Although these figures are very optimistic, hosting mega events come with unplanned costs like the London Games, where the costs were 3 times the estimated. Although the figures look good, most taxpayers have taken to the streets to protest against the government's questionable priorities. In June 2013, 1 million Brazilians took to the streets to demonstrate against poor quality public services, rising transport costs, corruption, and the high cost of hosting 2 major sporting events. Another concern for citizens is the forced evictions that have taken place in some areas, particularly the slum areas, which could result in 150,000 people being displaced. The protesters are angry that billions are being spent on hosting the World Cup and Olympics instead of education, health, and other public services. The Brazilian government promises an economic boom that will eventually benefit everyone. It will be interesting to see if this economic boom that the government promises actually happens. Thank you for watching.